I loved growing up there. It's a unique city. A lot of people when they think of Vegas, they think of the gambling, they think of the strip, they think of
Yeah.
stuff like that, some crazy stuff. But yeah, I think, Vegas, what's in me, like just take a chance.
Hmm.
You hear it all the time, like take a chance, roll the dice. I feel like I've done that a lot in my career. And like I said, Vegas is known for gambling, taking a risk, rolling the dice.
So that's part of your
That's what I'll
personality.
say.
That's fair to say now, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely willing to take risks, put myself out there in soccer, outside of soccer, all that
I
type of
feel
stuff.
you. So look, Zico, you're correct me if I'm wrong. Part Filipino, part Jamaican. Some of your family's from Barbados, right? So growing up, where do you feel the strongest connection to? And can you talk to me about where those different parts of what makes up what your heritage is come from?
So yeah, I feel a part of all those countries. I think America, obviously it's a melting pot of a bunch of different cultures. So I feel right at home in America. Obviously my mom is Filipino. Growing up we would eat the traditional food. I would be around my aunts all the time. And as far as my dad's side, it was the same thing.
Dad's
Like
Filipino
you said, some of them are
or
from.
pops is where?
No, my dad is
Yeah.
Jamaican.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So my dad, he was born in Jamaica, but he grew up in
Oh
Barbados.
wow.
So yeah, that's kind of where it comes from. Then he came to the U.S. I want to say he was like a
Okay.
teenager, like in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah, yeah. So I definitely feel like I'm part of both cultures, and obviously the American culture as well, just 'cause I grew up here. So um, yeah, that's what
So
I'll say
so
about that.
question for you, you speak Tagalog and Patois or what?
Nah, unfortunately not. I don't speak neither. My mom, she speaks the native language. Kanoa speaks it
Oh
now as
word?
well because he lived, yeah, yeah, because he lived in the Philippines before
Oh
COVID.
wow.
Like January
Hmm.
2020, he went to the Philippines, and then obviously COVID happened a couple months later, and he stayed there all the way up until this year.
Wow.
So yeah, he been in the culture, for a minute, so he knows the language now. But my mom never taught any of us growing up because she kind of lost it a little
Mm.
bit because she came over when she was about like six,
Yeah.
7, and yes, that's funny, 6, 7. But yeah, and she would get bullied for her
Yeah.
accent, so she would try to speak, as much English as
Yeah.
possible. And then obviously, if she's raising us and she doesn't really have people around to speak Tagalog with, like if it's only us, then like you're not really gonna use it
Yeah, I
like
feel
that.
you. So
So
like growing up with
yeah,
my family's from Jamaica and my mom's similar.
yeah,
Like she used to get bullied, but my mom was a fighter. My mom would throw hands, bro. So but she she
really,
she would speak to us in patois, but we never spoke it back to her. So like now that I'm getting older, I got kids now. I want my kids to know their heritage, right? And not only just where they're from, but most importantly, how to speak the native language. So it's something for me at least that I'm working on. Do you feel like the desire, especially now you're playing for the Philippines, do you feel the desire to learn how to speak Tagalog? Is Tagalog spoken within? I imagine it's spoken in the locker room, but can you pick up on a little bit? Are you trying to learn?
yeah. I know like the simple phrases like "Good morning," "How are you," stuff like that. But yeah, the language is kind of similar to
Hmm.
Spanish because they were colonized by Spain. But yeah, definitely have that desire. And actually, in the locker room, we mainly speak
Word.
English because most of the players are like me.
No way.
They're half
Ah,
Filipino.
I didn't know that.
So we have guys from Norway, we got guys from Germany, we got guys from some of them from the U.S. like
That's
me.
crazy.
So it's mainly English, and then there are some guys that are born full Filipino, born in the Philippines, and with like the athletic training
Hmm.
staff, they're mainly just full Filipino. They'll speak with
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
but and even in the Philippines, if you go to just visit, people speak
Okay.
English. Everybody speaks English.
Damn, I
So
didn't know
yeah, it's
that.
mainly English in the
That's
locker
kind
room.
of that's kind of like it
Yeah,
reminds
yeah,
me of like the Jamaican national team now. You see everybody, they got guys from dual nationals coming in from England,
yeah,
and like when I'm
yeah.
when
From
I'm looking
England,
at their
yeah,
stuff, like their content online, I see like a heavy British accent. So I'm like, yo, what's going on here?
yeah, for
Do you
sure.
think that
Yeah, a lot of the national teams like
do you think
yeah, I
that's
like that.
helping national teams, or is it kind of like diluting what it's meant to be, quote unquote?
Question. I don't think so. I think like Curacao, they're a perfect example. Obviously they're a Dutch colony and they just made it to the World Cup. I think they're the smallest nation to ever make it to
Yeah.
the World Cup. So I think that's a beautiful
Yeah.
story. I think the world is all mixed in. It's not just, okay, you're American, like, you stay over there.
Yeah.
You're Filipino, you're Jamaican, you stay over there. Like people have a bunch of different backgrounds. So if you're half uh, Dutch and half from Curacao, like you should be able to represent
Hmm.
Curacao this to the same, degree and have the same pride as if you're, playing for the Dutch
Right.
national team
Exactly.
and vice versa. Not everyone in the world is just, I'm straight
Right.
American, I'm straight Jamaican, I'm straight, we've mixed, everyone has mixed in the country or in the whole entire world.
Right.
So I think it's a beautiful thing that national teams are accepting, half-blooded
So
players. So
tell me a little bit about your name. I know obviously your brother's name is Kainoa, right? Yours is Zico.
yeah,
What's I know there's
yeah.
there has to be a story behind the name, some rich heritage and
Yeah.
meaning. What does Zico mean, and what importance did that have in your life growing up?
Yeah, so obviously there's a Brazilian legend named Zico. Um you could ask any Brazilian, he's probably top 10 like all
Yep.
time for them.
Facts.
So, yeah, if we go, I have another brother named Bryce.
Hmm.
So, it's every single whenever I ask my dad the story, he says he named us after somebody. So, obviously I'm Zico, the Brazilian legend. Kainoa was named after a Hawaiian
Oh
surfer
wow.
because Kainoa was born in
Oh, he
Hawaii.
was.
So yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
So
know
at the
that.
time, both my parents were living in Hawaii, and I guess he saw the surfer on the TV. He's like, "Kainoa, okay, yeah, I'm gonna name my son that." And then I believe when Bryce came along, it was the same thing. He saw a football player on the
Was it Bryce
screen,
Young?
and he was like, "Bryce." He's like,
It was Bryce Young.
"Nah, this was back. This
Oh,
was
back in
back.
the day, I was
No,
like,
no, no.
dang, he
This is
named it
back in
after
the
Bryce
day.
Young. Okay.
Yeah, cause Kainoa is the
Yeah.
oldest, and then Bryce is second oldest. He's in the middle, and then I'm the
Hmm.
youngest. So it was a football player, back in whatever it must have been
Yeah.
'97, because my brother born in
Got
'97.
you.
So he seen him, and he's like, okay, I'm
He's
gonna name
like
him
Zico.
Bryce. Same thing with me. He said he saw Zico. He's like, okay, I'm
So
naming Zico.
you
So
got the name right, named after a Brazilian national team legend.
yeah.
And you also come from a family of high level athletes. Did you ever feel the need to live up to something like that, or just kind of define life on your own terms?
I'm assuming you're referring to my
Yeah,
uncle
uncle. And listen,
in that
hey,
sense.
big bro, he was in the Bayer Leverkusen pathway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
some
for sure.
pressure there.
Yeah. Did I feel pressure? No, I didn't feel pressure. Cause when I was younger, whatever, if Kano was playing soccer, I wanted to play
Hmm.
soccer. If he was skateboarding, I wanted to skateboard. I just wanted to be like him when I was super young. And eventually I got to that age where I did like it for myself, and it wasn't just, okay, Kano was doing it, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it. And he was more of like an
yeah,
inspiration,
yeah,
more than, pressure
yeah.
like, oh, I need to do what he's
Right.
doing. I need to be better than him. It was just a thing of, I like playing soccer because my brother played it, and now I fell in love with the game, and let's just see how far it
That's
takes
the
me
same thing
type
with me
thing.
and Travis.
So I wouldn't say
Same thing
pressure.
with me and Travis, bro. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
Travis was playing, but actually, mom's was like, "Look, single mom, whatever Travis is doing, you need to do. There ain't no question about it. Like, it just makes life easier." And I fell in love with the game after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So, did you feel like you sought your brother's approval while you were playing, or just in general?
Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Just because he's my older brother, of course you want to, how you said, seek his approval. It's funny, when I was younger, I want to say like right before middle school, actually I wanted to play basketball and I wanted to be a basketball player. And at the time, yeah, I was playing basketball for fun, recreation league,
Yeah.
and then I moved schools. And to make new friends, I tried out for the basketball
Hmm.
team, and I made it. And then at the time, I was telling my brother, like, I think I want to play basketball. Like, I want to be a professional one day, yada yada yada. And he just sat me down. He's like, bro, look how tall our
I
parents
was
are.
gonna
Like,
say that, bro.
you can't play basketball. You either got to choose soccer or you're gonna choose
Yeah.
basketball. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you got to choose
Yeah.
soccer because basketball is
It's
not
not
gonna
it.
work. And yeah, yeah. She's like, not gonna work. Like, you never going past like 6 feet. Definitely not. So, so yeah, at that age, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll play
Yeah.
soccer. So,
So
yeah, that's kind of the
so
story behind that.
look, I think the cool thing about you, Zico, is you're a little bit untraditional, bro. Right? Like most guys your age, they
Yeah,
out there, they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? but you got married real young, bro, which is not something that you normally see. Like I was with wifey for 8 years before we got engaged and got married and started having kids. What was the reason why you were like, you know what, this is my person, but most importantly, why you wanted to take that leap early on?
Started off very fast, and we just dove like straight into it. Like, if you're my person, then this is gonna work out type thing. So the whole story behind it was I went to San Antonio, like I
Yeah.
said, and I was there, and I want to say like 2 3 months into me being there, I met my wife now, Carly, and I wasn't playing at the time, and I had all this free time, So after practice, like, I'm hanging out with her the whole time, and yeah, it was just like, couldn't believe I met this girl,
Yeah.
I met her, I feel like, at like a pretty low point in my life, in my career. Like I said, I wasn't playing. I dropped down from
Hmm.
MLS to USL. Um, and I would say definitely like God and faith definitely played a part. She was well along in her journey with God, and I was someone that's always believed in God, but never really, made that step forward to like go to church or actually like read the Bible and stuff like that. So as time went on, we moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and things just started moving fast
Yeah.
from there. And yeah, my life started to change. And like you said, if you found your person, you're like, why wait?
Yeah, I feel you.
Let's just, yeah, let's just get married. Let's just take that another step forward for both of us. It's like we're really committed. I don't see the reason why waiting. So
Yeah.
let's just do it.
You see,
So
it's interesting because when you say why wait, the first thing that comes to my mind is like, yo, you got to get your paper up, you got to have this and this and this in order. But you also mentioned that you were walking in faith, and sometimes I feel like now that I'm at a much older age and I've developed a better relationship with God, I think that had I had the relationship I have with God now that I had back then, we would have gotten married a lot quicker. You know what I mean? Because it's for me, I think this is the right way to do things. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you, what has the love you have for your wife grounded you in a different way than soccer ever could?
something that, like you said, she holds me down. I know there's someone that I'm gonna have in my corner no matter what happens, like unconditional love type
Yeah.
thing. So I definitely think it's helped in my career. It's helped in life. Um, it's just it's like something that you don't need to like worry about
Yeah.
in a sense. Like when you're, especially nowadays, like with social media and all this, like you can compare it easily. And if you're saying like, say you're single and like, okay, I'm trying to get a girlfriend, yada yada, you focus on all
Yeah.
these other things while trying to play.
It's
Like,
hard. It's
you've
hard.
seen it yourself. Like, you've seen
It's
it
a lot of distractions.
derail people's careers. Like, bro, they chasing girls, they trying to do this, they're not focused on soccer. Next thing you know, they don't got a career
Yep.
no more. So, like I said, if you found the one, it's like, why are we gonna wait? It's commit to each other. It's gonna make the relationship go from here to
Yeah.
here, which is even
And she's
better.
a
So
soccer player too, right? Yeah.
yeah, she played Division 1
That
soccer.
makes it
Yeah,
easier.
so that was another connection we
Yeah.
had. Like, yeah, straight from the
So,
jump.
hey, this
Yeah,
let me ask you. You gotta be real here, right? Okay. So, like, I remember when
yeah,
I was back when I was in middle school and maybe first year of high school, I dated a soccer girl, and I was like, "Yo, this is dope."
yeah,
She at the same level as
yeah,
me. Um, but then I went to like an ODP tryout, and she was there too, right? And then she was like,
yeah.
"I thought you could have done this better." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if this is for me." So it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So I had to find me a girl
Right.
outside of the game. But has that been the case for you?
No, I think, yeah, of course. There's some situation where it's like, she asked me like, "Oh, why didn't you do this?" Or, "I think you should play better," type
Yeah.
thing. And I think it's just early in the relationship. I'm like, "Oh, I don't think you should do that." Or there is sometimes I'm like, I can genuinely ask her because she understands
Hmm.
the game. Like, "Oh, what do you think in this scenario?" And I've had to get better at it too. Like, that's how she sees it. Say she's
Yeah.
watching me from the
Yeah.
stands. That's a whole different
Right.
perspective than maybe another person, maybe someone on the field, and she actually knows about the
Yeah.
game. So I've gotten better with like respecting her
Hmm.
opinion, like I said, because she played the
Right.
game, and it can be useful to have another person's point of
Yeah.
view. So not really times where I'm like, why would you say that, or like we're bumping heads type thing. But I think it's better. It's more beneficial. She understands the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So
That's dope, man.
yeah,
That's like loving basketball right
yeah,
there, with loving soccer. You feel me?
yeah, yeah. It is
So
for sure. That's
let's
funny.
go back to Cincinnati. When you think about your time there, what did that period force you to confront about yourself? You obviously had some early success, but we know that you took a step down, so to speak, into the USL. So what did that experience in Cincinnati teach you?
For example, I had four head coaches in 3 years. So that was a thing where it's like I'm fighting for my job, every single
Yeah.
year. Almost, what is that? Almost like every couple months type thing. Um, and yeah, that just really introduced me to, the men's game, and it's really like you need to do your job or they gonna get you out
Big
of here
facts.
type
Big
thing.
facts.
But then also too, like there is a business side of things. Like it's not always soccer.
Hmm.
I learned that as well.
But
Um,
elaborate a little bit on
over there
that.
I was playing right back
Talk a
as
little
well.
bit when you say that's not always soccer. What are you talking about? Because I think kids
Like
don't
it's
understand. I think I know what you're talking about. I just
yeah,
don't think that the youth understand this.
yeah. It's the way you carry yourself around the training facility. It's, are you showing up early? Are you staying after? Are you doing the extras? Are you going to sleep when you should go to sleep?
Mhm.
Are you eating what you need to eat? Those type of
Yeah.
things. Like you can say when you're young, like, yeah, I know, I understand, but like when you really in
Yeah.
it, you really understand like, yo, I need to go to sleep at
Yeah.
10 because I gotta wake up in the morning, and like them 2 hours of that training, it's like I'm about to be exhausted
And you got
after.
to
And
be
if I don't
on.
recover the next day, I'm gonna have a terrible
Yep.
training session. And like I got this cool little money coming in. Yo, I like the feeling of this money.
Mhm.
If I want to keep it, I gotta go sleep at
Best get
10.
to work. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like let's get to
Yeah.
work. So and then yeah, I'm surrounded by the best players I ever play with. Like Lucho Acosta. This guy is like ridiculous. He's the type of player you just give him the ball and you make the run for him. If he loses the ball, I'm gonna win it back for him and give him the ball again. You're playing with those type of
Makes
players.
life easy.
So I'm playing with people that played in the World Cup.
Hmm.
Like they really know what it takes to play at that high
Yeah.
level. So yeah, learn so much at Cincy. But I would say that's definitely like this the professionalism, the business side of it. Sometimes too, like I said, with a GM, like a GM makes a decision, like that was all
Yeah.
business. Like,
Nothing personal. Did
so
you at any
yeah.
point feel like things were slipping away over there at Cincinnati? Because like when I was playing, there were times when I felt like, okay, the writing's on the wall. I know I ain't gonna be here next year. And I don't want to say it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, but sometimes you can just feel it. I wonder if am I crazy, or did you feel that come in? Were you blindsided?
Definitely not. So the coach there now, his name is Pat
Hmm.
Noonan. That was his first year, my last year, and I had opportunities. That's what I say I respect about Pat. Like he gave the young players, he'll give you your opportunity.
Do you think it's
And
because he was
I
a
had a
player
couple
and
games.
he knows? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, he's had success as a player. Like you said, he's been in MLS. He played MLS probably like
Yeah.
10 years. He won trophies. So yeah, he knows what it
Hmm.
is. So yeah, I had a couple games my last year, and my last game I played like as a left back, and I gave up a PK. We lost whatever like 5-1, and that was really my last chance. Like I just knew,
Mm.
like if I play that way, I'm not gonna bring this kid
Yeah.
back if he played that way. He gave away a PK. We lost like 5-1. And then someone comes into your position and they play well. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep that guy. You
Yeah.
know, similar to the business decision. And rest of the year I was playing second team. So yeah, like you said, the writing was on the wall. I knew I wasn't going to resign.
Yeah.
So
So you
yeah,
found a new home in New Mexico, right? And you said that that place
yeah,
has it's felt special. So what did New Mexico give you that you needed at that stage in your career?
playing time, playing time. Coaches that believe in me, and just a platform to show that I could
Yeah.
play. really,
Yeah.
because yeah, what I've learned too the past like 2 3 years is like if you're not playing, you could be the most talented player in the world. Like it's gonna be very hard to have a
Yep.
job if you're not
That's true.
playing. So I actually went, like I said, I went from Cincinnati to San Antonio, and even that was like a unique situation because I came in on a 25-day
Mm.
contract. They had they really had like 11 players that were healthy, everyone else
Damn.
injured. So they brought in a couple guys on 25-day contracts, and they just came off the year before winning the championship. So it was like the standard was
Yeah.
super high. Like we need to win every single game. So yeah, I played a couple games in San Antonio, and then obviously all the guys that were injured, they're not injured no
Yeah.
more. So those are the coaches' guys. So they come in, I stop playing, and then that's when New Mexico came into the picture, and they saw I'm not playing. The GM at the time, he said he was following me for a couple
Mm-hmm.
years. He said he tried to get me on loan from
Yeah.
Cincinnati like years ago. So I went there, and then yeah, played a lot of games since then. So that's why it's felt really special. A lot of love from the fans. One of the craziest fan bases in the USL. So it's been
So
amazing. Past three
you
seasons.
you you are somebody that has been inspired by some of the flashiest players in the game, Ronaldinho, Neymar, right?
Yeah.
What did you rediscover about yourself and your game when you got to New Mexico United?
Say just having that confidence and like playing free and trying to play mistake free.
Hmm.
Not mistake free, but not afraid to make
Yeah,
mistakes
so important.
because yeah, you can tell Ronaldinho and Neymar they're not worried about if they dribble and they lose it. They're not worried about if I play this outside the foot
Yeah,
pass if the defender intercepts it, they're gonna play because that's their
right.
instinct. And it's probably their coach decided like, yo, I need you to do whatever you need to do to make the team
Yep.
tick. So yeah, that's something I learned too just from the past, two coaches I've had in New Mexico.
Hmm.
And they do give me that
That's
freedom.
what's up.
Like if you make a mistake, like who
Makes a
cares?
world of a
Like we're
difference.
gonna win the ball back.
So sometimes
Yeah, yeah, for
sometimes when
sure.
you rediscover yourself, when you rediscover your form and you're in the right environment, it opens up the door to a bigger identity shift and decisions, right? And you chose,
Yeah.
obviously you represented the US at the youth national team levels, but you chose to represent the Philippines. What why how did that decision come about or opportunity come about, and why did you decide to represent the Philippines?
It was really Kanoa's idea.
Really?
Like I said before COVID, he went to the Philippines to play in their local league,
Hmm.
and I think he said he saw on YouTube at the time it was called the Mitsubishi
Okay.
Cup. So it's all the Southeast Asian teams. They basically play the Gold Cup.
Okay.
So it's all
Yeah.
them in a tournament. And he seen it was probably like in Singapore at the time. And he said he saw like 50,000 people in the stands.
Mm.
Like that's a whole nother market
Yeah.
that we don't know about
Yeah.
in the US. Like the Asian market.
Yeah.
So he said he saw that. Obviously, we're Filipino. He's like, why don't we try and get our passport and like play for the national team so you can experience
Yeah.
that. So I want to say since like almost like 2019, that's been in like the work
Really?
of playing for the national team and trying to get the passport. It was so difficult for him to get his
Yeah.
passport. Like it was honestly
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It
Honestly,
is. It's hard. I tried to get
yeah.
my Jamaican passport back in the day, and they didn't have a consulate in LA, so I had to fly to New York or DC, and it wasn't like a one-time thing where you go, like you gotta commit to that thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, so but
So much paperwork,
yeah,
all that.
exactly. But were you
Yeah.
okay, like you and Kainoa have that idea. But usually that's like that's something that comes after you get an invitation. Did an invitation come, or did you say, "Let me get my passport and then go from there"? Or were you like what every most USL or lower league players have to do, which is get on LinkedIn or find agents and maneuver yourself into position?
Yeah, so like I said, in like 29 since 2019, we were trying to get the passport, and like you said, a bunch of paperwork, a bunch of hoops you got to jump through. One of the biggest issue was at the time that me, Kainoa, all my brothers were born, our mom wasn't a Filipino citizen.
Mhm.
So that was like another thing you had to prove. I
Yeah.
guess like they wanted our grandparents' birth certificates, but our grandparents in the
Yeah.
1930s, they born in the village. They just writing it on a
Yeah.
piece of
Right.
paper, and we don't have
Right.
that
Right.
information, that type of stuff. So eventually, from him getting his passport, it took me. So he got it. I want to say like 2022, and then 2023, I got my
Hmm.
passport, and then it was really crazy because they were switching coaches, they're switching general managers,
Yeah.
like
It's a
every
lot of
year.
turnaround.
It's a bit like, yeah, it's a lot of turnaround. So I want to say in the beginning of last year, 2024, the new general manager of the national team in the Philippines, he just messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Your name's been in the pool for a while. Like, we know your brother
It's
because
crazy.
he's been called up to like a couple national
Yeah.
teams, and there's
Right.
fans that scout,
Right.
who's half Filipino, who can we bring
Yeah.
to the team,
That's a
like
new
fans
type of
really.
thing though, right? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because you got all this technology now.
Yep.
You got transfer
Yep.
market that shows both pages. If you put in your Instagram, all the flag. If I put
Yeah.
Jamaica, Philippines,
Yeah.
Barbados, people gonna see that and be like, oh,
Yeah.
he's half Filipino. Like,
That's
okay.
crazy.
So the general manager really just messaged me. He's like, oh, we want you to be part of the new generation. We have a new coach. I'm the new general manager. Like, do you have your passport? And I said, yeah, I'm in the works of it. I'm about to get it. And then yeah, that's really how I
That's
joined. It's
crazy.
crazy. Just on
That's crazy.
Instagram.
But did he
Yeah.
message you from like the official account or his personal one?
No, his personal
Okay. I was
account.
gonna say because if it's the
So I,
official
I
one,
even
that's
had
like
to,
goosebumps, you know?
yeah. That I really had to verify. I had to tell Kanoa like, yo, is this really the general manager? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's him.
That's
So
crazy.
it's
So
funny.
when you
Yeah.
made that decision, right? You get into your first camp and obviously you've been capped multiple times at this point. Did have you developed a deeper connection to your heritage and a part of your family and your roots?
Yeah. For sure. Cause I mean, I'll be honest. If you look at me from the outside, you're not gonna say that's a Filipino
Nah, I
guy.
see it, bro.
You're gonna
I
say that.
see it. I can see it.
I mean, growing up, nobody was ever saying like, "Oh,
For real?
are you Filipino?" They just look at me like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's just a black dude."
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean? Like, so
That's crazy.
it really is a switch of kind of like identity. Like, obviously, I know who I am,
Yeah.
and I'm a half Jamaican, half Filipino, American citizen
Right.
type thing. But like just on the outside, what people see me as is obviously a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, going to the Philippines, the amount of times I have now, being around other Filipinos, it's for sure like make me want to have a deeper connection with my culture,
Yeah.
with the food,
Yeah.
like you said, with the language, all that stuff.
Yeah. That's
So,
what's up, man. So
yeah,
how did your
yeah,
family respond to it when you obviously get the call up and then most importantly when you play
yeah,
your
yeah,
first game? What's that like, you know?
yeah. Obviously, my mom was super proud. She has like 9 sisters,
Oh man,
so
that's
obviously, yeah, they all want a jersey.
yeah.
They're all super excited. So yeah, getting that first call it was World Cup qualifiers
Yep.
actually. So I was already juiced up to play those. So yeah,
You
yeah,
had your
it's
family
it's
in the stands
definitely
and
it's a
everything?
different. No, because that game, my first game was in
Mm,
Vietnam against
yeah.
Vietnam, so they weren't able to make that. But yeah, it's definitely different type of feeling when you play for a national team for a
Yeah.
country than playing for a club. It's a different sense of
Yeah,
pride.
for
So
sure.
yeah, it's
So
amazing.
let's
Yeah,
switch gears a little bit, right? Art, fashion, style, self-expression. Ever since I met you, bro, you and your boys, man, always dressed up to the nines, like trying stuff, right? Where does that come from? Is that just a new young type of age thing, or is it like was that in your blood? Where does it come from?
definitely say it came from
Hmm.
Kainoa, but I think to be honest, that's just black culture in
Yeah,
general. Just you want to be fly, you want to look good, that type of stuff. So, but definitely, yeah, Kainoa, he been into fashion. He's made clothes before, so that definitely influenced me. And like my favorite artists, different type of artists like Travis Scott. He big into fashion. So definitely from a young age, always love
yeah.
shoes, love clothes, like all that type of thing. You want to be fly. You don't want to look raggedy.
You're ahead
So
of the game, bro.
yeah,
You're
definitely
like
had an
pretty
interest
soon
in
they're
it.
gonna be doing these pregame snaps, so I gotta make sure my fit right. You know what I'm saying?
Football and fashion are starting to do a bunch of
Exactly.
collabs. They've been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's dope to
Did
see.
you did you do you feel like you come alive in that space in a different way than you come alive when you're on the field per se?
Uh, nah, I wouldn't say so. I feel like my style's kind of
Hmm.
changed, and it's more just like I said, you want to look good, but as you get a little older, you're like, okay, I want to be comfy too. Like I want to be cozy. So, yeah, and I've never like made clothes like Kanoa
Yeah.
has, for example, but yeah, I would say it's definitely just like two different worlds, two different like sides of
Yeah.
me for
Yeah.
sure.
So now you're in a much more I can't even say advanced stage in life. That's how long I know you. You're older now, right? And you're in a completely different stage of life. What feels most different about the man that you are becoming, the man that you are today, than when you were growing up in Vegas?
What? Someone else, to look after, have someone else with me when I'm making a
Hmm.
decision. Um, but I still feel young,
Yeah,
like
you
at heart.
should.
I
You
still
still
feel
young,
like,
bro.
yeah, 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 yeah. Still feel young. Still feel like still learning a whole bunch. I don't know everything. Still, having new experiences.